Is it a problem? Is it a lifestyle? Why can't it be both? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you a book haul. And today's video is being sponsored by Inkyard Press and Quirk Books. As you can see, I've got my mysterious stack here. My mysterious stack. You can't see the spines, so you have no idea what these books are. I actually wonder if you guys could guess what these books are just based off this side of the books. Can you? Let me know in the comments down below. I bet you can't. I don't even think I could. Somebody make that a challenge. Can you guess this book by the page side of the books? Anyway, today I've got a haul. I'm super excited about it. It's summertime and I'm just feeling the reading vibes. I want to read all day, every day, even though I've not been reading that much lately. But I'm gonna get back to it. I think this stack of books is gonna inspire me. Well, I hope it does. Anyway, let's get started. The first book I have here is Breaking Time by Sasha Alsberg. This is Sasha's debut. Well, technically it's her debut. She did have a book come out with an author. She had a co-author situation. This is her debut on her own, writing as Sasha Alsberg. Breaking Time. She's gonna break into publishing. That was a really bad attempt at a pun. I was trying to make a pun and it did not work. Sometimes we need to not make a pun. Sometimes we need to leave the pun at the door and just not, you know? Sometimes it's okay to just not. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. It's been a minute since Zenith came out, that duology, and so it's going to be interesting to see her as an author now and see how much she's improved. Also, it's going to be interesting to see how she writes on her own, because obviously we've seen her write with a co-author situation and now she's here standing on her own. I'm super interested to see what that's like, what her writing style on her own is going to be like. This book sounds wild, adventurous, and just a whole lot of fun. In this book, we are following our main character, Clara, who is one day just driving down the road, you know, just minding her own business, and then all of a sudden this guy appears and she's pretty sure she hit him. So at first she's panicking. She's like, oh no, I just hit this guy. I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Is he okay? I mean, obviously the trouble part comes after the is he okay part. At least I hope it does. That'd be a little sus for your first thought to be like, am I gonna be in trouble for this? No, your first thought should be like, oh, holy crap, is this guy okay? This guy ends up being a Scotsman. And what has happened in this situation is that Clara has accidentally hit the Pillar of Time, which is an anchor point in the timeline of the world and a hiding place for a rogue goddess's magic. Callum, who is this brooding Scotsman that she nearly killed with her car, now feels like he must do everything he can to protect Clara, especially because he was unable to protect the last Pillar of Time. The last Pillar of Time ended up dead, and he still feels like he's got blood on his hands from that situation. Now that a dark force is hunting down Clara, her and Callum must do everything they can to protect themselves. So in doing so, they are working together, they're growing together, and they are creating this very strong bond between the two. And something tells me, something, that there's a little bit, you know, of a romance brewing there. Got a little romance situation happening. I've known Sasha for a very long time, and I know that she has been working on this book for a very long time, so it's exciting to kind of see it finally being released. It sounds adventurous and fun, and it's got a bit of, you know, some darkness looming there too. I love books that kind of have bits of time travel elements within it, and it sounds like this one does definitely have that kind of time element within it. Obviously we've got the Pillar of Time situation here, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that element is executed within this book. The book itself is taking place in Scotland, which I actually honestly have not read many a book that takes place in Scotland. Have I ever even read a book that takes place in Scotland? That is the question. This might be the first. This could very likely be the first book that I read that takes place in Scotland. I'm gonna have to look into that because I feel like there's probably a book that I've read where they've gone to Scotland, but I can't remember. My mind is drawing a blank. Oopsie daisies. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading this. I'm very excited for Sasha and her debut with Breaking Time. It's in stores now. Check it out. I will leave a link to it down below in the description. Gotta support booktubers in their endeavors. Next up here, I have the Booksplosion Book of the Month for the month of June. Is it June? It's June. Oh my gosh. It's June. My birthday is this month. My birthday is next Friday. I'm gonna be old. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, This Is Not the Real World is our Booksplosion Book of the Month for the month of June. This is the sequel to This Is Not the Jess Show. This book right here, which as you can see, we got a little bit of a cover change. I do like the new covers. I do really like the old covers too, but this is also the new cover of This Is Not the Jess Show. I don't know which one I prefer. I like them both for different reasons. I feel like this glitchy style makes more sense for the book itself. Not that the story is glitchy or anything, but this reminds me of a TV, and there's kind of a TV element in the book. If you've read the book, you know. Obviously, I can't really say what the sequel is about, but I can tell you a little bit about This Is Not the Jess Show. In this book, we are following this girl named Jess, and she is just living her life, trying to live kind of a normal life. She wants to have a little bit of a romance situation. she wants to hang out with her friends and have no drama, and she's a little bit tired of her parents being as protective as they are because they can be a bit overprotective. One day something happens that makes Jess question everything, literally makes her question her reality. Are the things within her life really happening, or is there something deeper going on here? As Jess begins to investigate her life, she begins to realize that everything is not as it seems. That's for dang sure. I really enjoyed the first book, This Is Not the Jess Show. I talked about this in a video recently where I felt like this was the start of a bigger conversation, and I feel like this is going to be us digging deeper into this conversation. It's very mysterious, and it kind of honestly is one of those reading experiences where you just cannot help but be so angry for the main character. Like, she is in a situation that is just absolutely not okay, is not okay in the slightest, and so reading this book, like, it just like makes you feel such a strong emotion, makes you feel such strong anger for your main character that you're following. And honestly, I love that aspect of it. Like, I love the fact that it just made me feel such a strong emotion. While I really liked This Is Not the Jess Show, it definitely had things that didn't really like tie together fully, and so that's why I'm really excited to see what goes down in this book, because I feel like there's just so much left to explore, so many things that need to be tied together. And I just really hope that Jess, this might sound bad to say, but I hope she gets her revenge. The people who were responsible for putting her in the situation that she ended up in this book need to be held accountable. Need to be held accountable. I'm getting angry just thinking about the situation. This again is the Booksplosion Book of the Month, and I will leave more information about that down below in the description if you guys want to join us. Next up in our mystery pile here, I was sent an arc of Shad Hadid and the Alchemists of Alexandria. This is a middle grade fantasy story, and I'm very excited about it. I feel like it's just going to bring all the magicalness that my life has been missing lately. It follows a boy who spends most of his time alone as he ends up kind of feeling misunderstood when he goes to school, so he doesn't have very many friends. He spends most of his free time filled with baking as he has a passion for it, and he dreams of one day in the future opening his own Arabic bakery. But his dreams kind of shift quite a bit, when he's attacked by this shadowy monster, and then he's like clued into the fact that like, oh yeah, by the way, BTW, your late Baba was an alchemist, and you've just so happened to inherit his abilities. Like, thanks. Would have been nice to know a long time ago. Would have been nice to know before I got attacked by this shadowy creature. Goodness. Clue me in earlier next time. I feel like this book is just gonna have me drooling. Like, any book that has like baking or food in it, like, it's game over for me. My stomach will be growling. I will need food to eat while I'm reading the book, which I typically don't do. I can't help myself. I am easily influenced. Like, when I'm reading about food, I want to eat food. I can't help it. I'm a hungry boy. Hungry reader. I believe this also has a magical school element, which I am always game for, because I think that our main character needs to kind of like hone his alchemist abilities, so he needs to go to this magical school in order to do so, and that always is a fun time. I've never read a book with a magical school element and been like, ugh, I wish this was set somewhere else. Like, no, give me more books with magical schools. I'm always down for that. This is also a debut book and the first book in a series, so I'm really looking forward to getting into it. It has been a minute since I've given middle grade a go, but I feel like this little itch inside of me is starting, begging me to get back to middle grade, so maybe I will come through and give that itch a nice little scratch. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but it went somewhere. Next up in my mystery stack, oh, I spoiled it, we've got book lovers. Has anybody else's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok feeds just been filled with this book lately? Because that's how it's been for me. I feel like every corner I turn, every app I open, every bookstore I enter, there this book is. There it is. It's like everybody got together, decided that this was going to be the book that everybody talks about, that nobody shuts up about, that everybody posts about. This is the book. Book lovers. It's like one of those books that I'm already tired of seeing, but I'm also like so curious about it because everybody will not stop talking about it. So I'm gonna give it a go. Now, this is a romance book, and I am still kind of dipping my toes into the romance world. I'm kind of dip. I'm just touching the water. So I'm kind of nervous about it because I don't know if I'm like fully on board with romance yet. Like, I still am just like figuring out where I fit with this whole romance thing, because it's been weird for me to even be liking romance books, to even have read a romance book and be like, oh, I liked that a lot. I'm curious to see where I end up with this one. It does have a book element in it, and like that kind of already has my heart going pitter patter. That sounds like it's gonna be good, you know? Like, that's how, like, if there's gonna be any romance I like, let it be one where the book lovers are falling madly in love. In this book, we follow follow our main character Nora, whose whole life has been books, books, books. Relatable content. Hello, welcome to my life. She's a literary agent and is doing everything she can to land her authors major deals. Nora's sister has decided that Nora needs to write her own story. She needs to stop focusing on other people's stories. She needs to stop focusing on fictional stories and write her own story, aka write her own life story. Like, she needs to fall in love. When Nora visits this small town in North Carolina, she decides that she is going to create a life for herself. But the thing is, she keeps on running into this guy named Charlie, and there's some history there, some not so good history. AKA, every time they meet, it's never a meet cute. It's always a this is awkward cute, or this is uncomfortable cute. It's never been good. Next up on my mystery stack here, we've got The Inheritance games. This book is also like mega popular, like hello hype. I feel like this is the book party that I am severely late for. Like, sorry everybody, I'm fashionably late. I've been reading other books, I've been trying to catch up, but I'm here. I'm ready to party, I'm ready to get my reading on. Also, after I read this description, I was like, oh, this book is kind of my dream. Basically, we follow this girl named Avery who is scrambling to try and find money to pay for college. And also just money to like survive, you know, because you need money to survive. Unfortunately, you can't just have books, gotta have money. But suddenly this billionaire dies and just leaves all their money to Avery. Like, hello, how does it feel to live my dream, Avery? Can a billionaire just like give me some money? I'll take literally $1 million. You won't miss it. If any millionaires are watching, hit me up. I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. There is a bit of a catch though, and it's kind of like an awkward catch. It's asked of Avery to move into this mansion, which you probably heard that and you're like, what? That's the catch? Huh, I'll take that catch any day. Like, I thought the same thing. But she has to move in with the people who were disinherited. So this billionaire's family members that thought they were gonna get the inheritance, but did not get any of it. The family is looking to take down Avery, and they're really trying their best to prove her as this con woman. This book just sounds like so chaotic. It sounds really fun. It sounds a bit mysterious because like, why did this billionaire just give Avery all this money? Is there a connection there? Do they know each other at all? Is he a stranger? I need to know. I need to know what be going on here. I didn't realize how juicy this book was. Like, I've seen this book everywhere, obviously, because so many people have read it, but I didn't realize how spicy the tea was. Like, dang! Now I know why so many people are sipping this tea. I want to sip it too, so fill up my cup. Let's drown ourselves in it, okay? I am looking forward to this one. The next book on my stack is another middle grade book. We've got Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor. Which I just have to say, I think this cover is like printed wrong. Like, look at the edge of this cover. Like, the image does not go all the way to the edge. Am I being delusional over here, or does that just not fit? Am I just being annoying about something that absolutely does not matter? Probably, more than likely. But welcome to my life. In this book, we follow Zachary Ying. Obviously, his name is on the title. It'd be kind of awkward if we didn't follow Zachary Ying. And his whole life, he has learned about Western history and has never gotten the chance to look at his own Chinese heritage, which kind of leads him to having a bit of a hard time when he finds out the fact that he, himself, his body, is basically meant to host the spirit of the first emperor of China for a vital mission. The mission that Zachary is put on with this emperor living inside of him is to seal this leaking portal to the Chinese underworld. And they must complete this mission before the ghost month hits, and the portal is just like blown open and all these spirits exited, essentially. That's what I think is gonna happen if they don't close it. That sounds really wild, really fun. I'm really interested to see what Zachary's like back and forth with this emperor will be, because I imagine there's going to be some dialogue between the two. And I think that that will just make for some really interesting, chaotic interactions. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I haven't read a middle grade in a long time, and I just think it's time. I think it's time that I get back to middle grade. I think it would be fun to do like a middle grade readathon of some sort. Obviously, I'm terrible at readathons, so actually that's a terrible idea, but I just would really love to get back to middle grade fiction because I just think it's so much fun. Next up on my mystery pile here, we've got How Do You Live? Which is a question that I often ask myself. I look in the mirror and I just ask, how do you live? You know how I live? That's how I live. Those books. Yeah. I bought this after I read the description and found out the fact that Hayao Miyazaki, who is the man, the legend behind movies like Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, that Mr. Miyazaki is basing his final film with Studio Ghibli off of this book. That was an insta-buy for me. I said, say no more, you're coming home with me. This is apparently a Japanese classic, and within the book we are following our main character Copper. He's 15 and he's facing all sorts of life changes after the passing of his father. Throughout the story we we follow Copper as he begins to question everything. You know, the passing of his father has made him question what is most important in life. The next book in my little mystery stack, which is getting so small, is Rebel Skies. That's the back of the book. Rebel Skies! Look at this cover. I love this cover. It's beautiful, stunning, amazing. Chef's kiss. This is one of those books where it's like proof that social media is powerful in terms of like selling books. Because I'd never heard of this book before, but then one day this author's tweet was recommended to me in my Twitter feed, and a quick little click led me to their book. And the next thing I knew, I chucked it into my cart and it was being shipped my way. Let me tell you all about it in this book. It takes place in a world where there are cities in the sky, and the sky cities and the ground cities, which I believe are called groundlings, are in a battle for power. There are also these paper spirits, which I think is what this bird paper thing is on the cover, and they are free agents within this battle, so they're targeting both the sky cities and the groundlings. And we follow Kurara, whose home has been completely destroyed, and she's decided to join an airship and become a spirit hunter. Does that not sound like so much fun? Like, just the world alone, like, I love the idea of like sky cities and groundlings and there being a battle between the two, and then these like free agent, it's just everything about the world I'm super excited for with this book. I low-key would like want to live up in the sky, but I just know that there would be a day I'd be like running or something and I'd trip and fall and just fall to my death onto the ground. I wouldn't even get the chance to battle because I would be tripping and falling off the sky city. The next book here I have is The Gifts That Bind Us, which is the sequel to, let me grab it. I grabbed it. All Our Hidden Gifts. In this series, we follow a girl who one day gives one of her friends a tarot reading, and because of that tarot reading, her friend ends up poofed, banished, gone. She has completely gone missing, and our main character is set in stone with the idea that because of this tarot reading, her friend has gone missing, so she must do everything she can to get her friend back. I have not read the first book yet, but I am dying to just like dive into this one and then read this one. Obviously, I have a series curse, so we'll see how that goes, but someday I will get around to these books and I will love them. I'm super excited about them. I just love the idea of this like tarot reading gone wrong. Like, that just sounds really fun to me. The last and final book on my stack. Oh no, this makes me feel like I need to go buy more books. No. It's Tokyo Dreaming by EMIKO Jean. If you followed me at all last year, you know that I did not shut up about Tokyo ever after. This book right here was one of my favorite books of last year. It was super unexpected because this kind of falls into like the YA romance lane. Obviously there's a lot more to it than just the romance, but typically I just do not get along with books like this. Like, YA romance and I just do not join hands at the end of the day. We don't even fist bump. We steer clear of each other. Anyway, I was very shocked to find that I loved this book. So when I found out that there was a sequel coming out, I knew I had to get it and read it. So that's what I'm going to do. In this book, we are following this girl, Izumi, who finds out one day that her dad is Japanese royalty. In the book, we are following her as she goes to Japan and begins to form a relationship with her father, and then also is experiencing the life as a royal and having a bit of a romance moment. It's just a book that just made me happy from beginning to end. I was like smiling the whole way through it and just kind of gushing, which honestly the thought of that makes me want to vomit, but that's the case here. That's the situation that I found myself in reading this book. I just was like really giddy and happy, and I despise the fact that I was. Embarrassing, gross, stop it. But I loved it and I can't wait to read the sequel. Yeehaw. That's it for my book haul situation. These are all the books that I picked up somewhat recently. I'm super excited to get to all of them and to devour them this summer. You guys should let me know down below in the comments some books that you have picked up recently. Also let me know down below in the comments if you have read any of these books and what your thoughts are on them. Unless you hated them like with a burning passion, don't tell me that. I want to just like go in hoping to enjoy the books, and if I don't enjoy them, then obviously I will let you know. I will leave a list of these books down below in the description if you guys are interested in any of them and you want to know the titles and the authors. I will leave that all down below in the description. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo! Let's go! Giddy up now! Giddy up now! Okay, wow. Is it cowboy hours? Apparently. Sorry, I'm fashionably late. We follow Zachary. Oh, ouch.